Prussia makes a stand at Quatre Bras and awaits Wellington and his redcoats and their arrival here in today's 1815 multiplayer battle here for you today. I'm pretty sure they're all 1815 cores. Certainly are on the Allied side, and look like they are on as well on the Imperial side as well. As we look like we've got some young guard here moving on forward, that is for sure. And it looks like as well the Prussians are already being advanced upon. Yeah, this looks like Imperial Guard for sure. We've got the Dutch Grenadiers here. Looks like Middle Guard as well. They are marching into the forest, and the Prussians are about to have a bit of a melee fight here, if they like it or not. And the French are not stopping here, and it is going to be a very, very fast start to today's 4v4 battle. And yeah, like I said, it's a custom with cores. Yeah, it looks like we have Perch here, the 8-point Prussia. He is taking on what looks like the Imperial Guard at the moment, certainly from this angle. And yeah, I imagine these Grenadiers are going to be going in very, very soon. Those white uniforms are going to be covered in red. Well, they already are a little bit, but it's more in the blood of their comrades and their enemies. That is for sure. But yes, what a start to today's fight. And yeah, actually, there I was going to say, there they go, finally. These guys need to get some melee. They're taking a lot of losses. They need to be going in, getting those melees. The Prussians do not want those. And in go the Grenadiers. They are getting filmed a little bit there. They are redlining as well, the Grenadiers. They might get pushed back here, you know. They are kind of struggling. The Prussians there. Well, they routed there, the Prussians. The Prussians sending is another Dutch Grenadier going in. That's definitely unit cross there a little bit. But yeah, there you go. The first Dutch Grenadier did rout. That might return. We do have another line infantry here holding the line. Just about. But yeah, lots and lots of guardsmen still coming in. Yeah, lots of, looks like middle guard really. And yeah, well, the Dutch Grenadiers hold middle guard as well. Yeah, they are clearing out that section of the forest there. And like I said, they are awaiting Wellington's arrival. We also have Uxbridge back here, which is pretty much just a cav corps. So we've got lots and lots of British cavalry here today. We've got lots of the Royal Dragoons. I think this is over here. This is more Uxbridge. And here comes Wellington. And then we also have the Prince of Orange as well. So we have the 11 and 8-point on their way coming down the road there. But yeah, the French need to take advantage, try and wipe out as many Prussians as possible before those redcoats start to arrive and maybe start to turn the balance power in their favor. You've got Prussians here just sort of scouting out. I'm not sure what other French armies there are. I imagine there might be a cav corps as well to match Uxbridge. I'm not sure. But there almost certainly, I imagine, will be like a Rial and a de Erlon. And we've got howitzers set up back here as well. They're shelling away, doing their bit. But yes, Napoleon is back in Europe, and you know, he is here to cause more chaos and more uncertainty. And they managed to arty snipe. It looks like they managed to arty snipe this 12-pounder here. So yeah, that was very lucky there for the French. Managed to get that 12-pounder off the bat. And yeah, Perch here kind of losing a lot of assets early on. A lot of infantry, artillery gone. Looks like he brought one. It was a 12-pounder. He hasn't lost cav, but he hasn't got much of it either, to be honest. He's just really relying on those British cavalry to arrive. Which is, as Prussia, I would probably bring a couple of cavalry, to be honest. I feel like that's kind of your strength. I don't know what Perch's corps really allows, but I would have thought more than one hussar. That's for sure. But yes, here come the guard. They're not slowing down. They are going to be matched here by a good firing line. There's good, looks like a decent amount of line infantry. They're relatively big units, like 140. It's not like a big unit, but for 1815 certainly is. Certainly one of the problems, certainly for 1815 France, is their unit sizes are not as big as, say, like earlier periods. So yeah, that's always kind of one of their setbacks. So once they go into melee, they're kind of a one-use unit. You're not really probably going to get a second use out of them. We've got artillery set up over here. It looks like guard horse artillery being set up. Looks like this player, whoever this Imperial Guard army is pretty much going with all the guard bar the old guard. Looks like it's very much a middle and young guard sort of situation potentially here. We've got the Red Lancers as well coming forward, another middle guard sort of unit. Needs to be careful not to unit cross too much. I mean, that's okay for now, but if he goes for a charge, then kind of rule breaking. Oh, they can just phase through the wall. I did not even think they could. There you go, the guard are going in. They have just kind of just phased through the wall. That kind of just defeats the point of having this wall here, that's for sure. But there you go, and Young Guard setting up here on the flank. They're going to do some nice shooting into the side, try and you know, just win that, and they're not even going to get a volley off before. There you go, and friendly fire from the howitzers. But there you go, the Guard managed to take out that corner. They can now carry on firing into the Prussians there. And be careful not to friendly fire too much. And they are getting, I think, friendly fired actually by artillery here. Yep, the horse artillery here just friendly firing his own guardsmen. That's not a good idea, that's for sure. And here come more and more. This is the French regulars, though, coming forward here. See, the French are speeding on forward. That's for sure. Not slowing down. Again, need to be careful not to unit cross. Looks like they're going to do it. Yep, they're just going to kind of just unit cross through their own troops. I mean, to your own benefit as well, because you're just going to get shot in the back. Also, you're just kind of blobbing up. There you go. Player realizes what he's doing. Kind of like goes back on himself. These ones are not so bad, but they could go in, I guess, now if they wanted to. But yeah, this is, I don't think this is Quatre Bras itself. I think that's the next, yeah, it's further back down the road. But yeah, this little homestead here is getting absolutely battered. And to be honest, the Prussian player should not have stood here. He should have made his retreat back to Quatre Bras much, much earlier. These boys are getting absolutely peppered. That is for sure. But yes, if you're a fan of all things NTW3, and you will see more glorious battles on a grand stage like this one here, then do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment show support really does help out the channel. There you go, that's a French regular, or rather, that's the first sort of casualty there for that army. And if you've got any glorious replays you want to send in, like this player did, who sent this one in, I think it's from the perspective of the Prussian player we're looking from. Certainly from the perspective of the coalition. Yeah, if you want to send in any of your own replays like the Prussian player did here, then do send them into my Discord. The link is down below in the description. As always, it's the best place to send them in for me to then get on and cover them. And then you can have your 15 seconds of fame on YouTube. But there you go. Looks like the Guard managed to get rid of the sort of the outer defense, we'll call it, really. And the Prussians have got some stuff back. They've got like their cavalry there. It looks like they've got actually, I thought this was their artillery, but it's not. It is just a one gun horse artillery piece there set up. But the Guard have done a great job. They really have. There's a cav fight taking place over here, actually, and it is the King's Dragoons. They've gone in, they've routed the Red Lancers. Looks like the Red Lancers took some of the Light Dragoons with them, and a line infantry here. Well, maybe that's already routed, I don't know. But yeah, so they took the King's German Legion cavalry there. Like the Guards, the trade unions. I don't think I've ever heard them called that, the Dragoon Guards. But there you go. They're the trade unions. They're retreating. It's a massive unit, 130-man unit. It is vast. But yeah, that's going to dominate the battlefield, that's for sure. There is some Laguerre over here. Looks like they've got some infantry set up. The Prussians are still causing a bit of a ruckus there in the forest as well. But yeah, I think that's what most of the Cavs put into. They've got the Scarlet Lancers here, which is a pretty good Light Dragoon as well. You've got the Lily Whites. Hussars over there, Bedfordshire Light Dragoons. Got another another Royal Dragoon here, the Bird Catchers. In scaling, they've got some pretty good heavies then, actually. They've got quite multiple of them, which is good because they're going to need a few. Because I imagine the French brought probably a few of their own heavy cav if they brought the right corps. They might not have. They might just gone all infantry, like on guard, and then most of that infantry corps, which would make sense. Yeah, they've got Chevaliers, Hussars there. I haven't seen a single cuirassier yet. More Chevaliers there. So yeah, it looks like the play for them is to go sort of just more infantry, and then hope that maybe they can just repulse the cavalry of the Brits. We've got an allied sort of Hussar here as well, being provided by Wellingtons, so some Brunswickers there. And some Uhlans as well. I always feel like, yeah, even if you're playing with a Cav Corps, you can't then rely on that player, because often they're going to be bringing a lot of like heavy stuff. And there you go, Light Dragoons going in. They're going to go for that horse artillery there. It's unlimbering, squares are being formed. Oh, and the pathfinding, I think, screwed him over. I think that's unfortunate. Yeah, he's going to re-give the order, but I think he's going to lose the Scarlet Lancers there. Yep, he might redline and route this gun. But he's got the carriages off at least. No, the gun's going to rally, but yeah, at least it's no longer really a horse artillery. That's a shame, because that should have been a kill, to be honest. And he probably could have got the Lily White, the Scarlet Lancers out of there as well, to be honest. There's another one on the road here as well. Big battery here of foot artillery. They could look to try and take out as well, the Brits. And the French here really swanning in from multiple directions. I mean, look at this. They've got Cav really up into like enemy lines here. It's just the Chevalier just sat here, actually in behind Prussian lines technically. Yeah, Uxbridge looks like he's sending cavalry across maybe to deal with the situation. Prussia should also send his cav out there. Like, they're not scouting enough of the Allies. They need to be out scouting more on this flank here, because they would then see, yeah, there's a French army just swinging in around them. It's crazy. Here come the Prussians. They're going to chase off the French. They were definitely going to get baited out there if they weren't too careful. Looks like the man with the job of sort of defending that flank now is going to be the Prince of Orange. He's got the tow rows here. We've got Belgian Jaegers and more of the tow rows being sent out in that direction. You're going to need more than 3 units. Even if it's guardsmen, you're going to need more than that to defend that flank. Looks like now here comes some more redcoats as well, which is good to see. So they're being sent out onto that flank. I think that, though, is a full French army out over here. To some extent, and I don't know how much infantry's got. There's a lot of cav here. 3-4 units there. Another couple over here. These again looks like light cavalry. Whether this is multiple armies worth of cavalry here, or whether one player has gone really heavily on cav. Need to be careful they don't friendly fire their own cavalry as well. They were just about to cross those guns. It looks like some shuts that have been routed as well as they sort of just scout there. And the Brits of Wellington are starting to engage with some of the French here. A bit of a small Laguerre line. There might be more of them, but it's just Landwehr he's sending up against those troops there. It looks like actually Wellington is kind of just Landwehr spamming. Yeah, he's got some line infantry as well, mainly German allied. But yeah, it looks like the player is really just going mostly sort of like, yeah, just like Landwehr. Yeah, he's got some redcoats. He's got the King's Own Royal, and he's got the Lincoln Volunteers, Cornwall Foot, and yeah, the Enniskilling Foot. But yeah, not masses, I would have said, of redcoats, to be honest. Kind of interesting to see. Oh, we've got some more here as well, the Gloucestershire. There's a couple in there, I feel like, yeah. Oh, that's the Grasshoppers. The 95th, yeah, there's the North Gloucestershire there as well. So he's got, yeah, 5 or 6. Looks like he's got them sort of spread out as well. Yeah, so yeah, there's a few, but certainly not as many as you'd think to see. That's for sure. Lots of allied troops, lots of these sort of Brunswickers, which actually are pretty solid, to be fair. They can shoot pretty well, and they're quite cheap. Certainly cheaper than some British regiments, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, they're having a line fight there in the forest. Looks like, yeah, the Perch player over here, along with, it looks like some of the Prince of Orange are now dealing with the French that are appearing from this flank. Regular sort of French line infantry here, dueling with them. Again, the French don't really want to be in a line fight. They want to be getting into melee. Something against the Prussians and the Brits. To be honest, the Prussians, you could shoot and probably do okay, but to be honest, your best bets, your stats are with your melee, not with your shooting if you're a Frenchman. Because your units are relatively small, so if you try and shoot against the British, they're just going to outgun you. They have better stats. They also have vastly larger units in some areas, like Wellington here bringing these Landwehr. You're just going to sort of slow down the enemy by bringing these, because it's going to take forever to gun them down and rout them. As long as they have their flanks secure, you're better just trying to melee them. And the same with the Prussians over here. Like, they have 139-man units, 140-man units in some areas. Like, that takes a lot of time. Like, you're outnumbered as a Frenchman. You're going to get gunned down slowly but surely. The way to break morale much quicker and on a mass scale is with the melee. So we are pretty much back at where we left off. The only thing you sort of really missed here is a artillery piece being taken out by Prussian cavalry. I kind of like slightly overdid it. And then another one actually is now just getting taken out here. The big gun we saw on the road earlier being taken out by a Scarlet Lance as they returned. And they got their revenge, managed to get another gun there at least. The French losing quite a few guns. But yeah, the replay sadly did crash. So we are back at pretty much where we left off. The French haven't really moved from where they are. They're just in a line fight. You can see the Brits are still sort of trying to form up their lines over here. Wellington is still trying to get into position. The Prussians, yeah, still holding on. Prince of Orange is now arrived. Is very much set up. And you can see here, there is a showdown going on between Uxbridge and this French player here. I say Uxbridge definitely has the advantage with the heavies. So if they're going to do this, the French, I feel like they're going to need some infantry support or more cavalry. Because, yeah, the Brits, I think they're sizing this up and they're thinking we can take this. And I don't blame them. They are going to go for it. Here we go. Bedfordshire, light dragoons going in. The French unaware, not even going to get a charge. Going to get jumped. And that is not good. That is a NTW3 no-no. Never get caught out like this. Look at that. The French reacting so last minute. And all this French cavalry is going to rout to a 0 British cavalry getting routed themselves. That is devastating. What has happened there? France has, yeah, just got absolutely decimated. That is for sure. And, yeah, it looks like now the French don't really have a lot of cavalry. They've got one here set up, just sort of stood. And they're going to get this one as well, the Brits. They're just carrying on. The inner skilling dragoons already winded. They're still not exhausted yet. They're going to go in for another cav charge. Jump a Lancer, which Lancers on a charge can be pretty devastating for cavalry, but not today. Not today. They're going to get a free kill there. And now the Brits have cavalry in behind this French line. And I bet most of these French lines cannot form square. It's a big characteristic really of 1815 armies. That is for sure. It's certainly that, yeah, the French can't really form square. I mean, French generally usually can't form square. They rely on a couple, and that's about it. They are going to go in for a melee, though, over on this left-hand side. They're going to have to turn something around somewhere. Line going in here against the Brunswickers. We'll see how they got to do. They may connect just about. Looks like they haven't taken masses of losses going forward. Here comes, I think this is the Dutch Grenadiers. We have guardsmen here as well. They're going in. The kind of unit cross that looks like a little bit. Looks like more French going in as well. Looks like the Brits are holding so far at the moment. They're all green lining all these units down there that are in melee, that's for sure. Looks like some of the cav is returning for the French over here, but it's again getting cut down by the Brits. The Brits kind of getting sidetracked. Really, I'd get ready to sort of encircle the French armies here. It looks like they have got multiple squares on the edge. But that kind of then just kind of gives away where the rest of their squares aren't. And the Brits can fire onto these squares if they're going to stay like this. This is a bad move as well by the player. Don't stay in square. Kind of like limiting your capabilities in a line fight. Looks like here the guards are actually kind of getting forced back. It looks like they're redlining. Some French units are routing already as well. Brunswickers are barely holding on. Also, I feel like the French kind of friendly firing their own troops here. I don't know if there's Ligera hitting the Dutch Grenadiers, but they've routed there anyway. And it's causing a bit of a mass rout along the line. What else is over here? Generally just French infantry. Good old classic red cloak versus red coats there versus Frenchies, and they're just pulled back out of melee, which is also kind of a no-no. If it's like a one-on-one, you shouldn't really just pull out. There you go. The French have managed to be one red coat. They should get some more, to be honest. Just keep chasing the Brits. They're going to just keep doing this. The French are generally pretty much faster than most coalition forces. You can catch these guys and just keep meleeing them. Don't just let them turn around and then just shoot you in the face again. But yeah, look at this. French player staying in his squares. Not a good move. And he's just going to kind of getting focused down. You can see the British cav, they can just sit back, they can rest up. If the French are going to stay in their squares prepared, they'll just let his tow rows here, his foot guards blast away at these squares. And they're not going to get any easier kills this afternoon, that's for sure. But yeah, unsupported, this French line is going to be in trouble. No artillery at all, no cavalry really. Yeah, and you can see they're just orange lining and red line. They are in all sorts of bother there, that's for sure. French are fibbing the Brits now. This one's not fibbing. That's absolutely fine. That Legate they're firing with the infantry there were firing for a little bit. And there you go. The Cornwall foot broken. I just keep, if you can, like sort of re-rally the troops. Get them going once again. Like get these line infantry, if they're not exhausted or anything like that, just get them in column and start charging these Landwehr. Like that's what you want to be attacking, is those Landwehr. This is going to look pretty good for the French here. This is a young guard, I think. Oh, I was going to say it looked good. They just blasted through their own troops at point blank range. I was going to say they had the cover of routing Brunswickers. Those Brunswickers might not be able to get a clean shot. They did. They got a very clean shot. So I'll take that back. But yeah, French there did a bit of an advance, did some damage, but definitely not enough. If they're going to do it, they should really stack up on this left flank here. Like, there is not a lot of really good Brits. these Landwehr, though they can form square, that's fine. They can form square if they want in, against the French bayonets. But that's what they should be doing, going into melee against those sort of units, not against necessarily British regulars. The Brunswickers definitely worth a go, but I think they actually have relatively decent melee stats. Just back up that they can't form square in some cases. We have got, looks like, middle guard shifting across here. Where this is more squares needed on that flank. As you can see there, most of those squares have all broken. It looks like the British cav making sure some of these guys stay gone. And you see, yeah, the French are in retreat. Whether they would have been good having better off having a Kelleher, that's the Liverpool goalkeeper, a Kellerman. Why was I thinking of Kelleher, the Liverpool goalkeeper? I do not know, but yeah, maybe they'd been better off having Kellerman rather than a guard. I don't know, but I mean the guard's done relatively well. Kellerman though would have been quite useful. Like, if you have Uxbridge, you need Kellerman because he's got heavies, and the French have no heavies in their other corps, their line corps. They're all in just one cav corps. Kellerman has access to. And you can then bring cuirassiers, carabineers, things that can actually challenge the heavy cavalry of the Brits, which is their dragoons. I mean, even some of their like hussars are pretty good and probably going to beat most, I would have thought, most light French cav. This is considering as well. We've got an artillery battery back here. I would have brought that forward to maybe just get right in the face of the Brits. That's also the part of the problem as well. The Brits have got loads more expendable cavalry that they can just send in for artillery. I feel like the French have not really tried. They've done it a little bit, but I feel like not enough. They went and they've got lucky with artillery snipes on the Prussians. There is like one artillery piece here, but to be fair, actually, I am scouring the battlefield, not finding loads of Allied artillery. There's another one here, like a Dutch artillery piece, but I don't think Wellington's brought any for his fight in the forest over here. He's just solely using infantry to hold this line. Yeah, this is all looking like infantry. He actually doesn't look like bothered with an artillery at all. Whether he's it's just because it's slow getting to the front, or whether he was just thinking, well, I'm going to be fighting in this forest anyway, and it's going to be a pain just to get it in and then get it out if I need to. So it's just safe to not bring any. Yeah, the line here, they're holding fine. And this is exactly what Britain wants. They have a tree line. They can just fire at the Brits. Sorry, at the French. Absolutely. Forever and ever. And they'll win that sort of gunfight. They're getting little flanks as well here as well with their re-rallied Brunswickers. As well getting side shots. That will slowly chip away at that flank of the French there. And they'll start to win those gunfights as well. More and more decisively. The French, you can see here, force back. Again, forming square. Stay out of square, man. Looks like they managed to get the light dragoon here as they were trying to get that horse artillery piece. Yeah, I mean, it's staying in square. Don't form square until the very last minute. That's what you should do. Never form square this early. It's not like Napoleon Total War, like vanilla, where your guys will fire like rapid fire in square, which is ridiculous. You guys are going to just stand here for quite a while, and you're going to fire. I mean, he's not even getting, like, the corner here is not even going to fire onto the tow roads over there. That are getting beautiful shots. So he's just dying in his square. If you do it at the last minute, you catch the cavalry off guard, but you and the players, like, you're going to lose troops. Also, you save your own men. There you go. He's out of square, finally. The sense is very passive. Prussia could, honestly, I think, push forward. Looks like the guard are maybe going to try something here. So we've got young guard pushing forward here. We've got some middle guard as well coming forward. 3 units of guard on their own, though, unsupported. That's very dealable. I feel like the Prussians here with their infantry and then the cavalry back there could probably deal with that if they wanted to. These infantry back here could do with maybe shifting forward and supporting the guard if we're going to go down this road here and try and challenge for Quatre Bras. Yeah, this gunfight not going to work. Like I said, they're going to have to try. Some of the French are sticking more troops on their flank. Good. Charge those Brunswickers. They're pretty weak. They've routed once. Then go down the line. Go get the Landwehr. That's what I'd do. They've got no cav as well to support this. Although they have. They've got one. As I say, one cav makes an appearance. We are looking from the British perspective, so can't see everything. But there you go. France is going in. Timed it well as well because the Brunswickers got their volley off. So they're getting them whilst they're reloading. That's a good start there. We need more stuff like that. Yeah, if the French can do the same here against this Brunswicker, and then get their cav, they're sort of side charging, rear charging themselves. That might be enough. You know, they're redlining there. French are, yeah, look, they're going to start routing a multiple Brits here. If they can work their way down the line, they're looking good. What is redlining over here? Just land there. That's also good. It's going pretty badly on his right flank for the French. Oh, I mean, yeah, lots of red lines. But that other flank, looking okay. And it's pass on down, like I said, landwehr there. They don't like when their flanks are threatened. They are going to start to rout. And there's a lot of landwehr in this Wellington army. More than I'd expected. I mean, in fairness, quite a few of them can form square, which is always deceiving. Yeah, the cavalry, if it just carries on along with the infantry, they can just keep chasing. There you go, that landwehr's gone. Routed with 30 guys dead of a 185-man unit. It shows how badly, bad their morale is. This should be pretty similar, I'd imagine. They're both combat gens, but it's not really matter. Just keep meleeing them. The French need to move forward. They need to just keep in touch with the British lines here. They don't want them to let them set up and sort of get out of this situation, because they've got them in a good spot right now. And yeah, as you can see, British cavalry is on its way. It's been activated. King's German 1st Hussars, they've been sent in that direction. They're going to deal with that French cav. And I imagine the French infantry push there. British cav is still way in behind over here. I think it's a little bit too far away. Need to get that a bit closer, to be honest. Try and go for some generals, go for some guns. We've still got the Hussars Bakers light bobs there. Again, can go for something. The center here is looking bad. Here we go. Looks like French cav went for a push, failed. I mean, I'm going to see that guard push here get repulsed by looks of it a little bit here. Got Hussars going straight down the middle here. The general, luckily, somehow managed to get out of there. I think pathfinding again screwed allies over, but the squares of the guard have saved them there. And the center might be about to break here, because yeah, a lot of squares being formed, and as you've seen, the French players pretty slow getting their squares out of formation. Again over here, like, come on guys, you need to get your squares out, because the Brits and the Prussians are going to punish you. Like, as soon as you unform square, you can form it just as quickly again. We've got Grenadiers coming, so this is the Dutch Grenadiers. They're going to go straight down the road. They need to just keep going. Keep going. They need distractions. They've got one right now. And the guard pushing in the young and the middle guard. And here come the Dutch Grenadiers. Can they break the line infantry here? I don't know. These guys have already seen a lot of action, pretty weakened. Redlining as they go in. They rally. Or maybe they don't. There you go, they're routed. And that might be the hit and the hope there. We are going to see French infantry try and take out skirmishes. That kind of failed. Looks like the French have managed to push back the Brits there a bit. Whose general died? Yeah, they did go and just get the. There you go. Yeah, the light bobs there in the back just to get a general. Just easy as that. I don't know whose. But then there's another one here as well. They can just go and get. And these guys, they're exhausted. They might not be able to do that. France has got the Brits on the run a little bit over here, but if the Brits can just stay in the game, they are winning in a lot of other places right now. France has again gone in for a melee charge here. What's he sent in? Looks like middle guard Grenadiers. Two-player Grenadiers. You can't just send one unit at a time though. That's the thing. Or he's going to have to send cavalry, but they're lacking in cavalry. They've got one back there. But yeah, they're just going to get focused down like that. Taken out. I mean, they just, you know, routed each other. That's a good trade for Prussia. Taking out a guard unit. I mean, he's taking out a lot more than just one guard unit. You can see here, he's just routed a lot of these guys in volley fire. I think also the guard is the one that might have lost their general, looking at how some of these guys are routed in a gunfight rather than just being meleeed. Again, tried with the landwehr here. Worth a go. They've got into touching distance. They just need to get a good volley off, charge them. France has troops as well in reserve here, and he's got his general a little bit too isolated. For a player that, you know, is facing a lot of cav here, and the cav could just go in behind, I would probably have that general a little bit better protected. Britain again getting around here. I mean, it's just some Jaegers, but he's going to get into the infantry here pretty easily. Those Brits going to be dealt with. Where they can get more reinforcements up there, we're going to see more French infantry now shift to that left-hand side. They're going to try and ignore those sort of line infantry here, the Dutch line infantry. They're just going to try and engage the Wellington Corps. There you go, Landwehr routed, and that's causing a bit of a break in the center hit there. And actually, Wellington is open for a charge if they had anything for it, but they don't. But Wellington, yeah, he's getting slightly battered now. He's in a really bad position. So yeah, credit to that French player. He's sort of keeping his side in the game a little bit. I mean, the guard did well. It did a lot of damage to Perch early on, granted. It's just, it's in a bad state now, and it's pretty scattered, to be honest. And they've got a lot of units just kind of sitting here doing nothing. Line infantry here getting in against the line infantry of the Dutch. Dutch managed to repel them. Again, going in. Might manage to rout those boys. They did, indeed. And looks like we're going to see a second wave going here from the French. I mean, I imagine it's going to end the same way, though. One line infantry routed here. That's good to see. They're going to get charged, though, by the French here by multiple Dutch units. And what's this back here? This is a sort of Feld battalion. It's pretty. I think it's a Hanover in that unit. If they can rout this, then they can certainly threaten the flank of Wellington here. Can the French? There are Prussians shifting over though as well. A bit of cavalry. The Brits have cavalry here, and they're falling it back rather than sending it in. They could just mop up these French very easily. And that's French units going to be routed. I think the Prussians are fiery, but they're definitely not getting good angles. But they are somehow managing to help rout, I guess, the French. There you go. Just about held on, did those Brits and those, well, those Hanoverians and those Dutch. Just about held on. And that's kind of like that, sort of like down the road now is very open. And actually the Brits and the Prussians can now flank this French corps over here. Laguerre just passively shooting his own troops. You need to be careful of that sort of thing. And here we go. France again going to try test this extreme right of the Brits. It's a good spot to attack. Yeah, no squares here. And again, the Brunswickers might be slightly better to charge than just head on into Redcoats. The Redcoats are pretty low. 41 men left. They won't have much to give. The Wellington is right behind. You'll be able to give inspires and rallies. Here we go. This could be the last one. We'll throw the dice in for the French on this flank. This failed. I can't see. They don't really seem like they have enough resources. And it could easily be countered, I feel like, though, by a bit of a cavalry charge. We have got French cavalry nearby. There is Brits as well that can challenge them. The Brits are starting to break, or the Brunswickers are breaking. That's passing on down the line. The Brits here probably will follow suit. And then can they get into the light infantry here? And there you go. Wellington could be in all sorts of trouble. Another general died, though, over on that flank here. Yep, he's just out here. This should have been happening a little while ago. French infantry and is very much exposed. I mean, they could just rear charge a bunch of these French units, I would have thought. With no generals, they're in all sorts of trouble. All sorts of trouble. I think that's now the right flank with no general. I think it's the guard with no general. I think the only general left might be the one over here. Can't see anymore. Got a gun battery back here. It's the howitzer just chilling, doing its thing. Yeah, I can't see any other generals alive. The one might have routed as well, because we've only had the notification of 2 routing. Yeah, very good there from the French. Keeping that up, and you see Wellington, he's on the retreat. He's getting out of there. Might be able to get him, you know, if they are possibly going to unit cross here, though. Yeah, they're absolutely unit crossing. They are going to try and get Wellington. They might be able to. I mean, the British cav is so far back. Uxbridge is like pulled all his cavalry back on this right flank, and he's just kind of left Wellington high and dry here. But yeah, here we go. We're going to see the cav charge. They are going to probably reach Wellington. He's winded already. This is going to be devastating, for the Allied war cause. Really, I mentioned losing, like, Wellington, and he's routed. I don't think he's going to die, necessarily. Or maybe he will. You never know. That's huge. Gives the French a little bit of hope. They've killed Wellington off. Cavalry going in here, they're routing units. I mean, it's routing squares, because the Brits firing onto them from the other side. And here we go. Inniskilling Dragoons going in, and they're going in for the killing blow, just routing all these French infantry here. with the support of their infantry, and there you go. It's like an infection. As soon as one French unit routs, it passes on down the line, and there you go. That's Wellington dead. So there you go. He's failed to keep him alive as that player. A small victory for the French, but it's going to be on a grander scale. Looks like very much like a defeat right now. Dutch infantry there. I mean, actually, there's a Nassau's, but they're blasting there. There you go. That's why you don't stay in square. I know they had cavalry sniffing about them, but might as well try and get a volley off. French infantry here just retreating. I would just go in. Like the game's kind of over. The French on this side have won though, I guess. So that is something. It looks like actually here as well. Or no, are they just mowing down line infantry? They managed the cavalry over here, hussars. They managed to rout the French infantry, the French cavalry as well. By the looks of it, they managed to get a bit of both. The hussars there doing their bit, but yeah, now they're gonna. I guess they should all just shift that way. I guess a little bit. I mean, really, they could probably just go down the road and deal with a lot of these French. I don't know how many of them can form square. Also, just keep sniffing in behind, going for that, looking for that general. Building captured. Oh, they've put the 95th in there. The chosen men. Purchase, you know, he's done well to stay alive and stay in this game. Honestly, I feel like the French should have been able to finish off the Prussian player, to be honest. That was a big mistake, I think, for them, was, you know, not defeating the Prussian player completely, to be honest. I also think as well, well, the biggest mistake was that cav fight. They should never have taken that cav fight like as it was. If they could, should have shifted some infantry to support, some squares, and they also should have been aware. They should. If I was that player, I'd be keeping an eye on that cav fight the most. Like, once you get your infantry set, don't worry about your infantry. Let them line fight for a bit if you have to. You're probably going to lose that line fight, but you can't lose that cav fight, because as you've seen then, it's just been all Britain on that flank. It really has. France on this left flank here did a good job. He's took that line fight, did a pretty good, did well, and then managed to melee in the right places and got through eventually. It took a couple of attempts, but he's managed to get through, and he targeted the right units as well. Those Landwehr and the Brunswickers, the sort of units you want to target if you want to sort of, you know, break through. Like these British corps, they're a whole mix of sort of different factions within them. So you've got Britain, you've got the Nassaus, you've got Brunswickers, Dutch, Belgians. You target everything that's not British, because the players can't bring. If they bring an all British army, it's going to be a small army. They'll lose anyway. So a good player will bring a good variety of different nationalities. And as a French player, a good French player in an 1815 game, you target those smaller nations, those weaker troops, because they don't necessarily have as great reloading skill as the Brits, and they definitely probably can't square like all the British units can. Some can, obviously. There are some good gems in there. For the Allied units. They're not all bad. But typically, probably where your weakest point is in the line is where the Allied troops are, not where the Brits are. Britain is actually having to defend this house now. We've got some French line infantry trying to get in here. I don't know if they found the door or what's going on here. Interesting, that's for sure. They're just getting shot from the outside, these chosen men. Yeah, they're not actually going in. They weren't even contesting the building. I'm not sure what's going on there. But they managed to get forced back, and you can see the Brits and the Prussians now arriving here to deal with what remains of the French. I think the French are also trying to get the remains of their, the guard and stuff back to maybe the surviving French army. You can see here the Baker's light bulbs. They're going to go for the guns. They don't care about the square. Pathfinding though, again. Whether because if you do a square right by a gun, it kind of attracts a cav to the square rather than the gun, I don't know. They're going to rout the Baker's light bulbs, but they might take the howitzer with them, which is kind of, you know, what their mission was. But yeah, we've still got relatively decent amount of guard back here. I think that most of these might have re-rallied. Yeah, get them into the fight. Yeah, still young guard over here. I think it was a good build by the guard player though. He brought mass rather than the elite grenadiers. He brought some grenadiers, but not the elite ones. He think it was a good play. I think it actually kind of worked. It kind of made him almost a line army. Like I said, whether bringing Kellerman would have been a good idea. The guard there routed. Oh, sorry, the guns there just about survived is what I was meant to say. Yeah, getting a good volley off in the end there. The Prussians are certainly suffering. They're getting side-shotted a bit, orange lining here and there. But yeah, I think that is going to be GG pretty much. The Brits can also just flank around on this side if they want to. Come down the road. I mean, they just get their cav into this mix and they rout everything that's left of the French. They're doing some decent damage though. Like these Havocake lads here, they are getting pounded pretty hard. But they're pounding the French just as hard, and more of their men are starting to rout. I mean, they've lost a lot of generals to these Frenchies. The Guard are not being stalked anymore by British cav, but looks like the British cav on... oh, there's the trade union. I don't think it's seen action since like that early stage. Hopefully it gets to go in and get the killing blow here. I'd like to see that. Beneficial Light Dragoons. Still got the King's German Light Hussars there as well. I don't think there are any other Dragoons alive. Or no, that's the Lily White 7th. Yeah, maybe they use all the other Dragoon Guards up. The French going to melee. I think that's the Guard going in. Yep, medium Guard going in. They might get that unit there. The Prussians are pretty weak in melee. Even a Guard without a general. Looks like they're going to do just okay. I mean, they've routed that Prussian. They might get a couple more of these Prussians here. Nope. I don't know. They were like light infantry there with the young Guard, I think. The medium Guard, the middle Guard is what I meant to say. They are Fusilier Grenadiers, Fusilier Chasseurs usually, so they're a bit better. They are constantly going in there, and they got friendly fired, I think, by our own artillery there. Yeah, it's this one back here, just friendly fire. It's having a bit of a problem with that all game, I think. The French players, but they've been friendly fire themselves. And the Prussians and the French duel it out. I mean, they should. They looks like these Prussians, these Brits here, they'll win this fight. The Guard are redlining. Oh, but more French infantry do arrive. That side charge there might be enough to get rid of the Prussians. And this is only Dutch light infantry actually. It's not that decent. The Brits over here, they've just swamped over what remains of the French here. And in go the National Militia. They're going to redline and break that Guard, that artillery there. It's Guard artillery, I think. The French, bit by bit, hold on. And as it should be, the Guard are pretty much making the last stand. There you go, they rout. And I think it's relatively GG. There is a few units left of the French here. We're just going to fast forward until we get to the end results. So yeah, there you go. Another unit routes. They're just going to march down the road here. The Guard, they're going to get blasted as they go in. They might get that Prussian, you know. It actually was not a great volley. Nope, they did not. And that's them gone. I think that is a young Guard unit, actually, that one. That's not a middle Guard. What else is still left? There's still a unit over here. Again, it's going to form square. That's fine. The Cav doesn't need to deal with them. They can just set up a firing squad if they want to do these Nassaus. They just start killing them off like that. And then after that, I think, oh, what's over here? Just more French line infantry. Again, can they form square? It doesn't look like it. Oh, yes, we're going to see the trade unions go in. Slam into those Frenchies. Very, very nice. That routes them. And to be honest, I just send the Cav in anyway. Like, while they're in the square, they're getting hit from two different angles. It's a good idea. Oh, they're going to do like the Waterloo thing. They're going to like set up their artillery and then offer surrender. And they're like, mad! Cav is going in. Read my mind, dude. I think you could just do it anyway. The orange and red lining occasionally, these French. A Cav charge would do enough. There you go. A rare instance of a French, British cavalry routing a French square. Or just a square being routed. And there you go. That should be GG. And there should be the end results for you guys to enjoy and admire. This was sent in, I think, by Kaleo, Cal, I don't know how you say his name, but the Prussian player, basically. So yeah, so thank you very much, man, for sending this one in. It was pretty close. It's pretty good. The Brits, I feel like once they had carry superiority, writing was kind of a little bit on the wall. Certainly that French left wing certainly turned it around. But it's nice to check out some different players and see what they're up to as well, instead of the sort of unusual pool of NTW3 players that we cover quite often. And it's nice to do 1815. It's one of my favorite sort of periods. Certainly have researched it a lot, and yeah, it's nice to see sort of like some different cores and different eras being used than just the same old ones. But we'll have a quick look at some of the unit stats. So yeah, this is from the Prussian perspective. You can see some of this line here, 176 kills is very good. I mean, they're pretty much dead, but they got some good kills. More here getting 159, 133. 2 units here getting 111 kills. 111 again. Oh, 3 units getting 111, yeah. 99. Yeah, the rest of kills. Not bad kills for the Prussians, to be fair, to be honest. But yeah, they had a pretty bad start, I'd say, to the game. And they sort of stabilized, managed to get some troops back. But yeah, the French really should have been able to give them the finishing killing blow, to be honest, I feel like. And then they would have been able to then sort of 3-on-1. And one of them's a Cav corps, so that should then give the French a good chance to win. But the Prussians managed to survive and get out of there. And that just about gave them enough to support the Brits and win this game. But there you go, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, do check out some of the videos appearing on your screen now. If you need a more of an NTW3 craving, you need a little bit more in your life. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're so close to 12k subs. So yeah, every little bit helps. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.